It is a terrible thing when brother takes up arms against brother. The lands in the south run red with the blood of kings and their kin, whilst to the north the winds carry the bitter chill of war. Winter is coming, say the Starks, but they say nothing of the tempest that already dwells within their lands, a storm centuries in the making. Summer will end soon enough, and childhood as well. A sister lost, a brother returned, a family changed. In a time of turmoil, can they trust their allies? Can they trust their family? The North remembers, and the children of House Braddock cannot forget.
Oh, yep.
Yep, sting a bop. You gotta do it. It's mandatory. Welcome, everybody, to For the North, which is our Song of Ice and Fire Sword Chronicle system game by Green Roning. I will be your GM today. Your emergency exits are here, here, and here. But assembled with me are a wonderful cast and crew. And before we get into saying hello to them today, I would just like to shout out our sponsors, which you can see in this handy link right here in chat. We want to thank Snowhaven, Modifius, Accent Punk, Zweihander, iHunt, and Defiant right there in chat. So thank you all so much. You can see a lot of these games in action on this channel during this week, so please do tune into them and hit those links and check them out because they are fantastic. But before we get into the game, I want to go around and say hello to everybody and just remind everyone who you're playing and what your goal may be. You know, you can keep it vague if you want, you know, what your general sort of vibe is at the minute. Johnny's looking very panicked, so I'm going to go to him first. Hi, Johnny.
Hello. How are you, Susie?
I'm good.
I always
How
feel
are
like we
you?
say hello. We always have this awkward back and forth at the start of every episode, which I enjoy. I look forward to it every week.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
well.
live for it. Yeah.
Well, I'm Johnny Blams. I play the moody, sulky, brooding twin, Brendan Braddock of the Braddock twins, Brolin's younger brother, the Bow Boy. Last episode, we found Brendan discovered a little bit of truth about his older brother. He indeed was sort of a raider. At least that's what Nymor kind of led on. And he learned that there was a survivor of a town that Brolin raided. So I think in terms of goals, Brendan is going to search for this boy. And I don't want to give away too many spoilers. So we're going to hopefully meet someone new today. I'm really excited.
Excellent. We are going to find Brendan a boy to interact with. Okay. Yeah. Moving swiftly on. I just want to.
Phrasing.
Roll the stinger again, and we'll just yeah.
Okay. Shauna, hi. Please save me. Hi.
I'm Shauna, Flying Spirits, and I am playing Riona Braddock, the younger of the twins. As far as goals, she's had a good time. She's so far continuing to represent the house, hasn't gotten incredibly sick, and has kissed a boy. So have that stretch of good luck continue. Hopefully nothing bad happens. It's not bad stuff's gonna happen. We're at halfway point. I have no illusions this is gonna go well.
Who can say? Who can possibly say? But I do want to shout out Sephi, who donated £30, which I believe unlocks pets for everyone. Now, y'all ain't Stark, so y'all ain't getting direwolves, but do think about what kind of pets you would like.
Bears.
Just bears?
Did you say bears?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious who my pet's gonna be. I mean, I think that's obvious. I think it's obvious. Scarlet, the best raven of all time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's just think about a pet. Let's just think about a pet for the cast. We will resolve this later. I think we will have a discussion after the show to actualize this animal. But moving across. Speaking of animals, there we go. That's a Charlie Smith segue. Bill, hi.
Hey, I'm Bill of the Forest on the internet. Super stoked to be a part of this political intrigue awesomeness with a high potential for violence. Or not. Who knows? Brolin doesn't know things that happened, but Prax does. So if Lyneth chooses to tell Brolin certain things, it could be as old-timey folks call it, a powder keg. We get to perhaps we get to see a different side of Brolin. Perhaps not. Perhaps he manages his situation like a mature adult. Two very different paths there, and if that, I guess we'll find out. Hashtag bear for a pet.
Speaking of someone who has a bear for a pet, we move across to Brolin's lovely wife, Lyneth, played by Prax. Hi, Prax.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll take it. Also, side note, I grew up in the Coast Guard family, and the United States Coast Guard did actually have bears as the mascot up until about the last one died in 1986. But, just putting that out there, that bears are totally acceptable pets, unless you want a seal. But hey, y'all, I'm Prax. I get to be the lovely Lyneth Tyrell Braddock, and she has plans. Her plans may be to be polite and cordial and start actually working with the movers and shakers, because none of the women are in this room, so she needs to find the rest of them, and then possibly, just say that it's such a shame that Lord Flint managed to piss himself in public. Such a shame.
Such a shame. Such a shame. I was just about to say, speaking of shames, we go to Maester Nymor, played by Trooper.
I feel like the shames have not been confirmed on screen, so I feel like if they've not been confirmed on screen, how do we know they've happened? How do we know?
It's just hearsay.
Luckily at the moment, Prax is currently muted, so she cannot actually just say how we know the various shames that have happened. So I feel like that's pretty good right now, convenient for me. I am Trooper SJP, and I am happy to be here, and I am playing Meister Nymor, who is a Dornish house martel. But technically, when you are a Meister, you no longer have a house name. So I am not a martel anymore. I am the Meister here, so loyal to the house and to the best interests of the house. And I'm here in the keep, the Greenwall Keep, with the young Lord Braddock, trying to mentor him and make sure he does not go off and do something dangerous or unwise. Doing my best. My goals, of course, secret goals no one knows about, is that I'm hoping, to make it so that this young man does not go and do anything unwise. Perhaps also make him a little bit less broody and moody, because Boy listens to the Smiths and also the Cure, but the old Westeros version of those things. So the Cure is like Milk of the Poppy Band, and the Smiths are like the Starks, but nobody wants to listen to them. It's terrible. And also I'm trying to find out who is who I got this message from, a mysterious message from a woman who has thorns. Perhaps this woman may be a Winter Rose. This is what I'm up to. And also, pets for all.
All right. I mean, the Smiths would still work as the Smiths, right? And then you can have like some broody, skinny kid with bad hair that's moaning. He wants to go out tonight, but he's only got the leather apron to wear.
Yes.
There we go. So.
I think I'm gonna do a wardrobe change. This is part of the new Brendan look. I think that's what we should go for. Just.
Oh.
Yes.
It's a good look.
It's
Yes.
It's like looking in a mirror when I was 14. Anyway, so moving swiftly on from teenage angsty Susie, we will return once more to Westeros. Yes, Bill?
I was just going to say, would you have to change the name to Green Day Keep?
Green Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Don't wanna be a northern idiot. It'd be a good one.
Anyway, so this has swiftly gone places, huh? This good start. Anyway, so we return once more to Westeros, to the frigid north of the continent. There is a snow falling, a heavier snow than usual, as summer's last days are waning. And we are once again in Winterfell. Riona, you have just shared a lovely moment with young Lord Roland. And after he had kissed you oh so sweetly and gently and very nervously, he leads you back into the feast hall and returns you to your family, to the table. He reluctantly lets your arm go and heads back to where his father is seated, which is currently at the main table with Lord Stark and his close friends. Brolin, you had been chatting at this table with your fellow table mates. I believe you were talking to Glover when you were arranging the trade deal. Trade talk has sort of died down by this point as Lyneth and Riona took their little walk around the tables. And Glover is just talking about dude stuff. You know, I don't know what men talk about, but dude stuff. And, you know, the ale is flowing and you're drinking. He's kind of like showing off a little bit, having that way of trying to one-up each other with your cousin, Eric Mormont. But it's getting rowdier in this room now as the ale has been flowing for quite a bit of time. And Lyneth, what are you up to after your conversation with the Lord Flint?
Well, I did say that I was going to make my, appropriate greetings to our Lord Host and, then proceed to find the real power players in this situation because I was informed that they're in Godswood. Mm-hmm. And then also possibly let some other people know about other things that may have happened.
Okay, I will say that the way to leave out of the main hall, there are a couple of different exits, one of which is near the table that you are seated at, where you can see Brolin chatting. So you can go speak to him before you leave if you wish to.
Yeah, I think that's what she would do. She'd go make her greetings to Lord Stark and then, kind of smile and make eye contact with Lord Manderley. Mm-hmm. And then in that way of like, yeah, I see you, and we might be able to talk later about other things that you want to talk about. Mm-hmm. And then just make her way around through that side exit, just stopping to check on her husband.
Yeah, I mean, as you approach the head table, you are sort of politely received, not warmly, but enough that it's not to be offensive, right? Like, the Northern Lords are not quite as flowery and, maybe as chivalric as you're used to from down in the South. But they're not complete barbarians, and you are acknowledged. Lord Stark gives you a nod and a thank you for coming, as he kind of almost turns to someone like, who the fuck is this? But Lord Manderley catches your eye, and he picks up what you're putting down with that, like, let's have a chat later sort of glance. And then he looks across to his son and Riona, who had just entered the room, and he sort of smiles and looks back at you with a smile, with a little nod.
Yep. And then she would just kind of politely make her way, and she would make a point of saying, I was, thank you so much for your kind hospitality, Lord Stark. It was such a pleasure to enjoy your welcome. It was such a showcase of your skills, and the great famed responsibility and hospitality that the Starks are known for. I know that you are well aware of everything that goes on, and your care for your, well, women and less fortunates is such an honor to the House of Stark.
Susie felt that. Jesus. Whew. Brandon Stark, however, and he just nods and says, "You're welcome, my lady. Please enjoy the rest of the feast."
Yep.
Fucking hell. Jesus. Okay. Yes. So damn. And Brandon Stark does it. Lord Bolton, however, you would notice this. He is in conversation with Lord Stark, and you're talking, introducing yourself and saying your thanks, almost seems to annoy him. He looks at you, you know, that kind of look you give someone when you're like, I wish you would just fuck off. You know, I'm talking to someone here. He gives you that sort of like cutting glance as he goes back to his conversation.
Yeah, but she's used to a true cut direct, and none of these Northern Lords actually know how to do it with the right angle of your nose and actually make you feel it.
Oh, yeah,
Also,
yeah.
They're all lords, and it's never going to feel the same as like that older matron of a house doing it, so
Yeah.
she totally ignores him. But then she'll
All
make her
right.
way around the side table to kind of like check in on her husband, or that's what it looks like to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of come up. This is a very important question for Billy. Is Brolin right-handed or left-handed?
I'll say right, so I don't have to do much thinking.
Okay. Then she would come up on your left hand because she would know never to put herself between her husband and the possibility of him drawing a weapon. Because
Do we have weapons? Do they allow us to have weapons in the hall?
You do not have your axe, but you do have the knife that you would carry around. It's multi-purpose, a utility knife, really, for eating and such. It's not uncommon for lords to wear a knife.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it would, you know, like your honor weapon, but nothing really important. But she would still, it would still be appropriate for her to do it this way. And she would just kind of like come up and lay a hand on your shoulder. Well, I'm about to step outside to meet the other ladies in the Godswood. It's such a shame. Lord Brolin had a small accident, and I guess he was rather enwrathed by, well, everything. And he couldn't control himself, and, well, the front of his trousers is slightly damp, one might say. And just kind of like bat her lashes at you.
The front of my trousers?
No, the front of Lord Flint's trousers.
Lord Flint. Oh, he fucking pissed himself, eh? Like,
Yes.
and he's kind of putting the pieces together. I saw you talking to him earlier. What happened? Did you make him piss his pants?
Yes.
I suppose he took to that real well.
He was slightly crass. I'm not surprised that he managed to be so crass in public as to lose control of his bowels.
Right, he was crass. What did he say to you?
Nothing to me. Nothing I couldn't handle, darling. Words are mere words from a man such as that. I would, however, pay attention that he doesn't leave. I wouldn't pay attention to make sure that he doesn't get a chance to talk to Riona again.
Well, I can handle myself in conversations. Maybe I'll just go over there. The Lord Reed's over there. I'd like to speak to him and just keep him tight. Keep him quiet.
I think that would be a wonderful pleasure. I'm sure you have plenty to talk about. He had such interesting ideas about the future of the North.
I'm sure. And he'll kind of like push himself up from the little bench thing that he's on and step over the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, enjoy yourself outside.
And then she'd kind of like lean up and in to like give him a kiss on the cheek as if she was leaving, but at the same time kind of whisper in his ear, remember, let him hit you first. Then it's self-defense. And then just kind of steps back and smiles and walks out the door.
And as she's walking away, he'll just go, "You look beautiful," and then turn around.
Okay. So Lyneth exits the dining hall. Meanwhile, Brolin, what is the plan?
He's gonna, mug in hand, stroll over if Arthur Flint is still at the table conversing with Lord Reed and the rest of them. Just kind of insert himself in the conversation. Hey, what are we drinking over here?
And you see Flint turn to someone who doesn't appear to be a lord that you know, but someone who is quite a large person, and he says quietly but loud enough for you to hear, "Oh look, the Southern whore sent her dog over."
I'm sorry. You said that quite softly. Can you say that a little louder? I'm not sure I caught all of that.
And he rubs his hands together, says, "I said the Southern whore sent her dog over."
Okay, now that I know that you're good at following instructions, step really close to me, look into my eyes, and say it one more time, you filthy dog.
And he has a smile on his face as he stands. And you can see that Lord Flint is an older man, but he's clearly someone who has worked or thought a lot in his life. He's quite built. He stands and he comes right up to you like a drunk guy trying to start a fight, almost pressing his forehead against yours. Or as high as he can reach. I don't think he's quite as tall as Brolin is. And he looks you dead in the eye, and you can smell the beer on his breath as he says. And he starts shouting it at this point, so the entire room can hear. "The Southern whore sent her dog over."
Now you're going to stand there like an idiot. You're going to kiss me now.
And he raises his head back and headbutts you. Or attempts to. I'm going to roll for him to attack. And then we will go into some combat. Okay, so let me roll for Lord Flint. So. 17 to hit.
Cool. So
I said to Lydia, I probably don't think there's going to be combat today. And then within the first half an hour.
So combat defense is, how do we figure out that mechanic?
Okay, your
I'm
combat
not
defense.
wearing armor, correct?
No, you're not. So your combat defense, your armor is like the damage soak, so that usually doesn't affect your. Oh, it does actually. Your armor penalty, which is the weight. So add that back onto your combat defense. So looking at this, your combat defense would be 11.
Okay. All right, then
because you are not wearing armor. Okay, so that is 2 degrees of success to hit. So that's gonna be his. That's going to be, I think, 5 damage? No, wait, that could be 10. Let me just double check really quickly. Where are weapons at? Because he's brawling, he's punching you, not hitting you with a weapon. Well, I mean his face, I guess. It's not really punching. Fist, it's athletics, -3. Okay, you take 4 damage.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Okay.
And we figure out health is endurance times 3, yes?
Yes. So you're on Brolin. If you look at your character sheet, your health is 9 total. So
Gotcha.
you take
Cool,
4
cool,
from
cool.
that
Okay.
because you are not wearing armor.
Gotcha. Especially like in my face. So I'm imagining that probably broke my nose and there's blood like all coming down like in my beard and everything. And so as that happens, he would notice as he pulls his head back up that there's a shift in his eyes and his brow kind of gets super intense and furrowed, and like areas of his eyes become like bloodshot and super intense. And he looks back and goes, "If I wanted a kiss, I'd have asked your daughter."
Oh, okay, all right. So let's have some initiative. I need you to roll me agility quickness.
Okay, you got it.
Holy shit. This is spicy. Okay, so with a 16, Lord Flint is just a little bit faster than you. Okay, so he is going to push you back and just go for a punch, just a straight right jab to your jaw. He's gonna go for that. So let me. That's gonna be a 19 to hit.
Jesus.
Doesn't he get evasion?
That'll do it.
Evasion?
Doesn't he get agility dodge? Agility dodge.
You have to, I believe. So dodge on here is it replaces your combat defense until the start of your next turn. It's a greater action.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So you have to do that on your turn. We have the cheat sheet if you've got that, Billy. You got that up?
I can get that. Was linked. Sorry, I'm looking for it. I apologize, but right now my that'll hit. That'll do some.
Okay, so one thing you can do is you can do things like you can take an injury, which would allow you to reduce the damage you take by your endurance rank. The downside to doing that is it imposes a -1, just a flat -1 to all tests that you would make during this combat.
Yeah, I feel like that would be great and fitting.
Okay, because it would be another 4 points of damage.
All right, with the injury?
No, so what is your endurance rank?
And you're right. I'm sorry. I'm getting confused.
That's okay.
Endurance is 3.
Okay, so if you take an injury, it would only do 1 point of damage to you.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So he is smiling broadly. He hits you with a solid right jab just on the jaw. It sends your head reeling back a bit. But it is now your turn. He's got his fists up. He's squared ready. So during combat, there's a couple of things you can do. You can do 2 lesser actions in a turn, or 1 greater action. With lesser actions, you can do things like you can move, or you can do something called a maneuver, where you make a test against his passive fighting test. If you succeed, it would be a -1 dice to him for all tests until the start of his next turn. So he would be at a disadvantage on his next turn. You can aim, so you could take a second to focus where you're aiming your punch to give you an extra bonus die, just with a better chance of getting a bigger hit. Or you can just hit a standard attack, but you can't do 2 attacks. You have to just do like 1 lesser action with like a maneuver and then an attack. You can't do punch.
I'm going to aim and kind of like calmly step back and like broken nose, bloody, sock me in the jaw, so that's probably like a little crooked. And then the intensity in his eyes is still there, and he'll put his right foot back for some power and take just a second to see where the gap in his defense is, and then like lob like a jab, like half of a jab, just to see how he reacts, and then launch with the straight. So, the aiming does what? I apologize.
So it will give you a bonus die. So if you click fighting, brawling on your character sheet, it will ask you for any bonus, and you just put 1 in there.
Can I also use the bonus die that I have left in the corner?
You sure can. That would be a test die. So what I would do here is I'm going to bump your fighting up to 6 for this. So just click fighting, brawling now, and add in your +1 bonus.
All right.
And then it should roll it. Holy crap! All right. Okay, that's a 23. So that is gonna be Let me think. His combat defense is God, maths is difficult. Shit. You have
I think you said
3
2?
degrees. Yeah, you got 3 degrees of success. So what your athletics rank is 4. But because this is a fist, it's athletics -3. So you are doing 1 base, but you got 3 degrees of success, so you do 3 points of damage to him as you hit him with this punch. So let me damage him.
Is he wearing armor?
He is not.
Not in his face, at least, we know.
Okay.
Because the damage for a fist is athletics rank -3. They want you to hit people with weapons in this game, unfortunately. So he's hurting. Well, he's not super hurting, but he's not happy as you punch him in the face. But it's his turn, and he is gonna try and get tricky, and he's gonna try and sweep the leg and maneuver you to at least get you off balance, so he can get in with a solid like hook or something. So he's going to make a fighting test against your passive fighting result. So he needs to beat a 20. This is going to be a hard sell. I am actually going to use one of my test die up here to make this a little stronger. Whoops. I'll try to keep. Oh! He beats it with a 21. Just beats. So I think he's really tricky, and I don't think he sweeps the leg this time. I think he's a scummy fighter, and he grabs a flagon of ale on the table and throws it in your face, so your vision is obscured and your eyes are stinging with the alcohol. And he's gonna come around and he's gonna try and give you a nice left hook to the body. I think he's going for a body shot this time, just to like really get in there and wind you. So that's gonna be a 20, which is gonna hit you. Because your in combat defense is 13, which will be 2 degrees of success, so he's going to hit you for 4 again. You can take an injury, or you can do. You can take a wound. A wound nullifies all damage, but it does mean that for all tests you are minus 1 die penalty.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a wound and say that when he clipped me, it was in that lower rib that's not connected to the sternum, and he breaks that.
Oh.
And so I'll take
all
a
right.
I'll take a die penalty.
Okay, it is now your turn. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna aim to gain that die back, and like reposition myself and let that pain flow through his body, and his eyes still being intense. Do the same exact thing that he did last time, feign with a jab and come in super hard with the straight right for the button.
Nice.
So the fighting you put back down to 5. Cool.
Yep.
And so there's no okay.
Okay.
19.
So you do have that -1, just flat -1 penalty for the injury you took too. So that's an 18. That doesn't really change it too much. That is still 2 degrees of success. So you smack him for another 2. And I think you do crack him right on the end of the nose. And he's like staggers back and his eyes start welling up as it sucks getting punched in the nose. I don't know whether anyone here knows this. Getting punched in the nose, it's not fun. And blood starts to, drip from his nose as he sort of staggers back a second and shakes his head. And he is furious and he's going to do a reckless attack. He's just going to come in and just go swinging. He's throwing himself at you. So he's going to get an extra die to hit you, but he does have -5 to his combat defense next turn. That's going to be a 24. This guy...
That's going to sting.
Yeah, this guy is a brawler you have discovered. So let me think. That's going to be 11, 16, 21. That's 3 degrees of success. So that's going to be 6 damage to you. You can, again, take another wound or an injury. Wounds will take longer to heal up. He's just basically thrown himself at you, and he's just swinging at your face. He's just going for the wild arm, just raw power, no technique, just smash, smash, smash.
So just to be clear, I took an injury last turn, correct? Or did I take a wound?
Yep. You took a wound
injury
last time. Yeah.
I took a wound. And those are the ones that take longer to heal?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he cracked a rib.
Yep. I'm gonna take another wound here.
Okay.
And I'll say that he what do I want? How do I? So he broke the rib the last time, and then if he's coming at me, I'm saying that like he lands like a once in a fight punch where all of his energy comes out through this one reckless attack, and I try to dodge, but actually dodge into the path of it and clocks me like right in the cheekbone and fractures the orbital bone on the skull that immediately like plumps up with blood, and part of the penalty moving forward is that his eye swells up immediately and he can't see out of his left eye.
Okay. It is now your turn, Brolin.
He's going to like spit out all the blood that's in his mouth, but now that he's gone off balance, he's going to take a breath, aim, and I'll use the bonus die for that, and the bonus die that Pope so graciously donated to me for a a normal attack and pray to the old gods. For this brawling, so no actual penalty. Still a 18.
18. Okay, yeah, that's gonna do it. That is 2 degrees of success. What does this hit look like?
So as he takes the hit, right, and so they're both going in the same direction, and his right leg goes to underneath him, and he's able to pivot on that right leg and deliver a left hook that a more badass way to say usher, but this left hook clocks him in his temple and then continues to go down until his head hits the floor, ricochets off the floor, and then bounces again into his fist, and he's on the ground. And then Brolin would go on the ground too, except he's immediately trying to push himself up, wincing through the pain.
So as you take Flint down with this punch, and it is nasty, Riona, from across the room, I mean, you've heard this fight going on. You heard it the second that Lord Flint shouted as he did, the room fell fucking silent. And these hits have just been like just resounding, echoing from the walls. You hear this final punch from Brolin, and you see the two of them drop to the ground. At which point, Lord Stark stands up. He goes, "Enough!" And he orders his men to pull the two of you apart.
In the throes of bloodlust, as he's like getting up, he shoves the men off of him and yells to the room, "If anyone wants to call my wife a southern whore, you're next in line."
And Lord Stark stands, and his men now have like surrounded the both of you, and they are picking Flint up off the ground because he's groggy as fuck. He's not talking right now. He spits out a couple of teeth. What are you doing as these men surround you, Brolin?
He's looking about the room intensely, like his eyes are fucking mad, and he's gauging the pain that's going on in his body, but he's not looking down. He's not tending to his wounds. He's making his strong and assertive presence known throughout the room, as if they didn't know who the Braddocks were before, now they know. Fuck around and find out.
All right. I just want to shout out Ghost TV for that boon for one Mr. Johnny Blams. Should have been a Bane, Ghost. Should have been a Bane, but that's okay. Thank you so much for that donation. Gritty is pleased, as Pope says in chat. Fuck around and find out. But so Stark orders that Flint is taken to the Maester to be tended to, as he is the one that looks worse right now. And you are kind of ushered outside for a moment in the snow, so they can at least pack that onto your face to try and reduce some swelling and clean you up. Servants are coming with some rags and like a bowl of water to just kind of quickly look at you before the Maester can, and a couple of the men at arms are sort of looking after you. But Stark proclaims there will be no more fighting in his hall tonight. And then anybody else feels like taking up fists, they can do it with him. And he lays a hand on Ice, the ancestral sword of House Stark, which is laid across the table, obviously, because it's a BD maneuver and he's a Stark. That's all they got going for him. So he lays a hand across the sword and proclaims there will be no more violence tonight. And the mood of the party shifts quite significantly. There's a lot of people that after the bloodshed seemed to be energized by it, and they were looking like they wanted to scrap and have a little bit of a fight. Some of the lords, some of the ladies present seemed quite displeased by this, display that happened in front of them, and you can hear all sorts of mumblings around the hall as people try and return to what they were up to before the violence, but there's always it's always right there on the edge of the conversation. Riona, what would you like to do?
Really, just as soon as this fight ended and kind of quiet it down, and then kind of pick back up, I think she's going to, while she's maybe making small talk with people at the table, maybe see if she can overhear anything regarding Brolin. Like, this might have brought up some, like, gossip or, like, bring the subject on to Brolin. So I'm wondering if there's anything I can pick up from anybody here.
Okay,
It's just
all
kind
right.
of quiet and just trying to quietly eavesdrop.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool. Let me look at relevant skills, and then we can decide what. Let's have an awareness notice check from you, Riona, as you try and listen into the conversations.
All right, cool. I will spend one of my test dice for that as well. Okay.
What did we get?
19.
Ooh. No, 19. All right. So, you sort of, sneakily do your rounds of the hall. You've got reason to. You're a young, noble lady. You've got to make your introductions and such. You catch, as you're around the sort of nicer end where the higher nobles are, you catch a snippet of conversation, and you hear them saying, it's got to be more than just the woman, right? You don't fight like that just for a woman. I wonder if the old bad blood of Braddock still rings true, eh?
Oh. Who said this? Can I get an idea where it's coming from?
It is coming from somewhere near the top table. And you can see that it's clearly not Lord Stark, as he is currently in conversation with a serving girl who is pouring him ale. It is not... who else is up there with him? It is not some of the other lords that are up there. It seems, from what you're gathering, to be coming from the Lord Manderley, Roland's father, and the Lord Bolton.
She was previously, I think, just a little bit in a good mood as she came, but as hearing this, she's, what does this mean? Is it? And then she's gonna go and visit her brother, follow where they're tending. She'll get up and excuse herself politely. It's I must see my brother, make sure he's all right.
Okay. As you get up and you leave, you walk away, you hear one last little thing coming from Lord Bolton. How's it going with that Braddock girl?
She just... It's like a slap, the way she takes it. It's like all the insecurities that she had going in are starting to come back now. She goes and see her brother.
Okay. As you head out to check on Brolin, we got to Greenwall Keep. What are Brynden and Nymor up to?
One being scandalized by what happened over in Winterfell, but I mean that's just out of character. Just the scandal was heavy. That's just noting. Scandal.
I feel I often open up, or at least for the last couple episodes, I've opened up and said what's Brendan doing. What I'd rather have Nymor started off and tell me what he's up to, or etc.
I defer to you, young Lord Brolin, young Lord Braddock. I feel like you've got some important things going on right now, like desperate things.
Sure. I think we'd start off the scene with Brynden and Nymor hanging out in the early mornings, and Nymor's probably like in his very disheveled room, and I'm standing there asking why he doesn't always pick it up.
It's less disheveled today. Normally, it's not that disheveled. It was just super disheveled when you broke in on him in the middle of the day for reasons, but you had other things on your mind. It's less disheveled today. It's never unsheveled. It's never sheveled, but it's not as disheveled normally, and it's the state of dishevelment is 2 points higher than normal, but it's not like on a scale of.
Did you roll for that, or
no? I just
roll
know.
for the civility level. Okay.
Okay, so the room is in a state of chivalry.
Yes,
As of
yes.
yet, Schrodinger's room, we don't know if it's shoveled or disheveled, but however.
Yes, it's normally his room is like just like 2%. Like it's like if on a scale of 1 to 10, it's normally like and 1 is completely clean and 10 is a pigsty. He's normally like at a 4, but when you walked in his room the last time, it was like at a 6 or 7, and it is like it's like at a 5 right now.
Excellent.
And he's like, no. Young Lord Braddock, you seem to be continuously in your thoughts. Have you spoken to the Master at Arms, as I have recommended? Have you looked at the stores? I can take you a tour of all of the places one more time. Normally, I do this with your sister, but she is not here. So if you wish, I can take you on a tour of all of the places for stewardship, because when you, depending on what you do with your life, you may need to be doing these things yourself. If you wish, I can give you a good tutoring on this matter of lordship.
I think I would like that, Nymor. While we're out and about doing our tour, I would like to stop at the blacksmith. And do you know where they're keeping that boy from Whitehaven?
Yes, of course I do, but might I ask why? Or perhaps it's not the right question. Might I ask, what is your...
I simply would like to talk to that. I think a conversation between him and I might be beneficial for my mind and my thoughts. That's all. Just a quick chat.
It is fair, as long as this is not some means for you to be dour and torture yourself, as you sometimes do.
No torturing today, Nymor.
If it is so, if there is no torture, then I will take you. He's actually in the kitchens, is where he is now. But we'll go to the blacksmith first, and then we can go to the kitchens. He's actually quite a good baker, as it turns out, or he's learning to be one. He's not bad, not bad.
And I picture Brynden leaning down and saying, "Oh, is he now? Did he make this for you?" And he picks up like an old piece of breadcrumb. Nymor, you really have to clean up this room. It's disgusting. He throws it at him.
First off, young Lord Braddock, when you are a knight of the mind, sometimes things as small as tidying in some sort of way that, I don't know, perhaps Tyrells might do is not where your mind is going. You must let your mind wander to the places it must be thinking of course. And sometimes that is not in this cleaning all of the things. There are dreams to think about, and there are things to think about.
I'm very aware, Nymor, but a little hygiene goes a long way, that's all.
First off, if we're going to speak of hygiene, we Martells are far more we Dornish are far more hygienic than you Northerners ever have been. Have you smelled yourselves recently? Anytime? All the time? Because I'm smelling you all the time. Yes, it is perhaps all the furs you wear that you do not clean. We have no discussion about hygiene. Come. But I will tell you.
I didn't make a statement about your aroma, Nymor. I just said your room's a little messy, that's all. All right? Jeez, Louise.
Brendan, come on. We have work to do. And he just sort of like claps you on the back, and it's sort of and there's a kind of like a closeness as he sort of smiles and kicks like a plate just a little out of the way so that it's not as visible. And he sort of like puts his arm around your shoulder, and he sort of like gives you a bit of a squeeze as he walks you out in a way that he probably hasn't done since before Brolin and Lyneth arrived. Just that kind of a particular that old way that he did before things changed.
Excellent.
Calm.
So yeah, I think we go and find the blacksmith. Yeah.
Okay, so you head out to the smith.
Yeah, but on our way, I will like take him through the stores, and I will like have like a some scrolls, and I'll like note how I'll give him like a bit of a stewardship 201 probably about like the different things we're thinking about in the different seasons, and as we're coming on winter, and like just sort of giving him a in case one day he has he marries someone for whom he needs to do this sort of a thing, or whatever might happen in the future. Who knows? I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Marry someone, usurp a house? Who knows? Anyway, so you move down to the smith. And it is a busy day today at the Smiths, as they're working on a whole new set of horseshoes. The farrier has kind of taken over as not necessarily in need of axes and weapons at present. So the farrier was like, it's my time to shine. Let's get some shoes made. But it's busy. It's active. There's only a few people in here, the smith and an apprentice. But they're working hard. It is smoky and dark, and very nice and warm in here. And the smith tells you, is there anything I can help you with, my lord?
Actually, yes. How much would it be for 2 training swords, a smaller sword for a little lad, and some just basic chainmail?
Oh, well, I mean, it's your forge, my lord. You provide the materials, I just make it. I don't... it's just all included in the wages.
I still would like to pay you generously for your time, so here. And he takes out a small coin. He takes out actually a gold dragon, because I realized how much money Brendan truly has, and he flicks him a gold... I don't know where that went. Disappeared. A gold dragon to him.
He takes it, he looks at it, and he's like, that'll do it, my lord. His eyes are like, what? I don't think he's ever seen a golden dragon before in his life.
Nymor just watches this with a little bit of like, good. Just as sort of pleased about Brendan's personability at the moment.
And how soon do you think? How soon do you think you could have it for me?
I could start on them straight away. I mean, we've got a couple of training swords ready to go, so we don't need to sort them. Chainmail, I've got the chain already. The links are made. I just got to put them together, so it shouldn't be too long, a day or so. If I start work right now.
That sounds lovely. I look forward to seeing your work.
Thank you, my lord. And then he's like immediately clicking at his apprentice. He's like, go fucking do the work. The smith is suddenly much busier now as the apprentice is like dashing off to grab things. Is there anything else you need?
Nymor, anything you might need made? New chains, maybe, or?
New change, this I must forge myself. And before I do that, I have to actually work on... It's not important, but there is...
Work on
I
cleaning
think
your room. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good Smith, I want to say only I hope that you are having a lovely day, and I hope all is well with you and also your wife and your 2 children.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. How's the hinge on Scarlet's cage? I know she keeps fussing with it.
I think perhaps she may defeat even your skills. She has somehow also found her way out, even yet again. Perhaps something stronger this next time. She's the only one who can do it. I know.
Tell you that. And they have that little conversation about Scarlet and the cage, and he's like, "I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna make a cage she can't escape."
You know, I think that perhaps she only wants to be free. Problem is that sometimes we need her to do work. So being free all the time is not good. Sometimes being free is excellent. But, you know, this is a different topic because you're married. So you know nothing about this anymore.
He nudges you. He's like, "Perfect bird for a Dornishman, though, isn't she?" Yeah. Hey?
Perhaps. Well, anyway, please give all of my regards to your family, and I will not keep you much longer. But I hope, has there been any news or anything that we might need to know coming from this part of the keep?
No, I don't. It's been pretty quiet, actually. It's quite nice.
It's good. No shortages or anything like this.
No. I mean, we're getting stockpiles ready for winter because, you know, it's starting to come now. Winter's on its way. Yeah, no major problems that I know of.
Ah, good. But did you say that the winter is coming, yes?
That's not us. That's the Starks that say that.
Ah. Well, I've never yet been in a... I don't think I've been yet here in the winter, but, well, no, that early when I first came was terrible. Well...
Oh, aye. Let's hope it's a short one, and doesn't last 20 years. Right. Well, I got to get back to work, but if there's anything you need, just give us a shout.
And I will take Brendan out with me. All right. So he's married. He's married to a woman who is actually from one of the villages not too far away. They have 2 children. They're 2 and 5. He himself is actually quite funny. He has a good sense of humor. He's not too stuffy. He's all right. But you do not want to play dice with him at any time. He's very, very good at dice at this, in a way that is... don't play dice
fair, Nymor.
He plays fair enough. His luck is perhaps too good. But also his apprentice is from... And like just sort of goes through like everybody who's in the smithy and just sort of lets them know who they are, what kinds of things they like and don't like, and just sort of things to think about as we sort of make our tour through and towards the kitchens.
All right. Okay, so you've put in the order with the blacksmith. Is there anything else that you'd like to do?
I believe Nymor mentioned that the young boy is now in the kitchens working as a baker.
That's right. Okay, so Nymor, you would know that this boy is called Gerald. He is, after the raids, when did I say that happened? Like 4 years ago? 4 or 5 years ago, I think?
5. Let me think. It was probably about 5 years ago? 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think... Yeah. So this boy is now like 11, 12. He's you know, getting into teenage years. And as you say, he's been working in the kitchens. He's learning how to be a baker. But you come down and you can see him. He's like arms deep in flour. He's covered in it, and he's kneading some bread. As the kitchen's kind of a hustle activity as they're getting on like a stew for later on today. There's a big pot over a big, like that big fireplace with all the hanging utensils around it. You know, like they've got a proper decent kitchen here in Greenwall Keep. There's like a big wooden table in the middle where things are being prepared, and this is where you find Geralt, who is kneading bread.
And as I did in the smith, I just keep that one step back to let Brendan do his good, let him fly, as it were.
I'm a peacock, Captain. You gotta let me fly. He walks up to Gerald, who's knee deep or elbow deep, and says, "Excuse me, lad. Could I have a moment of your time?"
And he just he kneads the bread a bit more before he does the slapping it down, and he sort of brushes his hands off and tries to get rid of the flour, but being a baker, it's still everywhere. He rubs it on his apron. Of course, my lord. How can I help you?
I just, I wanted to hear your story. I'm going around and talking to the people at the keep, and I wanted to hear yours. I don't believe I've heard it yet. Get to know you a little better, I guess.
Well, my name's Gerald. I work in the kitchen. I live in one of the little houses.
And how long have you been in Greenwall Keep?
A few years, my lord. I didn't used to live here. I used to be a fisherman's son. But his village got attacked.
I'm sorry to hear that, Gerald. How old were you when your father's village was attacked?
It was 7. About 7 years.
And you made it
Wasn't
here?
very old.
By yourself?
I mean, I ran, and then one of your men actually picked me up, one of your rangers, that go out and just do patrols, make sure the land's, people are all right. I was just at the side of the road, and I remember I just laid down. I was so tired. I was so tired, and these men came up on horses, and I thought, well, that's it for me. But no, they brought me back to the castle.
I'm glad the Rangers found you. Now, Gerald, I don't mean to reopen old scars, but I have really one question. And Brendan kind of gets a little closer to him and lowers his tone of voice a little bit and says, "Did you see anyone or anything with eyes like these?" And he gets really uncomfortably close to Gerald's face and shows him the Braddock green Sharingan.
Please, it's a Byakugan. His eyes go wide, and he bites his lip, and his eyes glance to Nymor.
It's
and
okay.
He says,
it's okay.
I'm not supposed to say anything.
Who says you're not supposed to say anything?
It's okay to speak to young Lord Braddock about this. And no one else, but...
When it happened, your ma'am, the Lady Braddock, I was taken to her, and she asked, what I'd seen, and I said there was a man, a big man, and he had this axe, and he had eyes just like us. And he
I
was
just put my
with
hand
a
on
band.
his back to comfort him while he's giving the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was with this band of men, all dressed in these dark leathers and stuff, and some armor. I think. But they had this like patch on them that was like, it looked like a scythe, that they cut down crops with. Like a silver or a white scythe on a black thing on their chests, and he had one too. And I think well, I heard that they were them ironborn lot, because they attack and stuff. That's what they do. But I think, yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing, Gerald. On a brighter note, how's baking going?
Oh, baking's going really well, my lord. I've nailed bread. I got bread, solid. My bread, best bread in this whole keep. I'm just saying, if you have a nice slice of bread, I've probably made it. Working on cakes, not too good at cakes. I'm a bit impatient, but we're getting there.
Baking is one of the more difficult and complex and subtle ways of cooking. If you are able to master this, you will do well in your life. A good baker is priceless.
I know Winifred says I'm really helpful because I beat the fuck out of alt mixtures she gives me to do. Sometimes she says I beat it a bit too hard, but she's really impressed. She says no one can mix like I can. So maybe I've got a future in that. Eh?
Well,
Yeah, you know, if you do very well, who knows where you can go with your life? Only the prophecy knows.
actually, the reason I'm here, Geralt, is I kind of felt obliged to be transparent with you. I sort of knew a little bit of your story, not all of it, but I wanted to give back. So I was wondering if you like being a baker, that's wonderful. But if you'd like to be my personal squire, the job is yours.
And he, again, his eyes go wide and he kind of takes a step back. You mean that, my lord? I mean, I play with sticks, thinking they're swords, but I've never actually, picked up a sword.
Well, there's a first for everything, and we'll get you training. I've already talked to the blacksmith. We have a sword being made for you. If you'll accept, then I'd love to have you.
And he drops to one knee, puts his hand over his heart, and drops his head, like in a really big childish display of what he thinks a squire or a knight should do. And he says, "Of course, my lord. My life is yours."
And he kind of like glances to Nymor, because also Brendan is very not familiar with knighting and or squiring people, because he's like, this is like my first guy.
Hopefully your life will last long and be fruitful. Mostly it will be, I think, different sorts of calluses on your hands, some training between the two of you, and you will help him with his armor and with his bow and these sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
But in this process, he will teach you all that you need to know so that you may become a very good man-at-arms. Probably you will not be knighted because these northerners don't do this sort of thing. However, you will probably be better than many knights in many of the southern kingdoms. But it's there is one tragedy though about all of this. Something terrible. I sense something awful will happen with this squiring.
And the kid is like,
I suspect
What do you mean, Nymor?
something. I suspect I will not get the bread that I normally get in such qualities in the future.
and the kid lets out like an audible sigh of relief because he definitely thought you were going to be like, you're going to get killed like next week. And he says, I
It's okay.
I think
It's okay. You go and train as a squire. This is exciting for you. And when you learn how to fight with a sword, also you should get him to teach you a little bit about the bow. You will be someone who can protect yourselves and others. And I suspect perhaps this might be important for you.
yes, my lord. And I'm sure Winifred can pick up where I leave off.
Perhaps. But the young Lord Braddock was correct earlier this morning when he said that you have been providing my favorite bread so far.
Okay. And the kid, it's that sort of end of a sitcom, everyone's kind of giggling moment as we cut back to Winterfell. And Lyneth, you have headed out to the Godswood to find the other ladies, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you can see that they are sort of just returning after having, they're on, as you arrive at the Godswood, they're all kind of, you're getting that vibe that everyone is like turning to leave. And you can see here, there is, oh my God, there's a bunch of ladies. You can basically tell by what they're wearing, that a lot of them are wearing the colors of their houses. And being an educated lady, you would know this without me making you roll for it. You can see Lady Kerwin, there's Lady Bolton, Lady Manderley, Lady Cassell, not Karstark, she's at the table, and Lady Whitehill also is here too.
I think what she does is she's going to smile and nod at everyone as she comes in, but she would take a moment, and it's obvious to everyone watching that this isn't feigned behavior from her. She actually does go up to the weirwood trees and actually kneels for more that level of, when you walk into a Catholic church and genuflect and you kind of stay just a little bit longer, but then you're not praying, so you get up, but it's that level of acknowledgement of politeness, and then but it's also not a feigned behavior from her. It's something that is almost actually truly religious for her, faith-based for her. And and then she would just kind of wait a second.
As you are taking a moment before the weirwood tree, which has a difficult to read expression on its face, as the weirwoods, it's said they have these set faces, but it's almost like they change. And this one seems sorrowful, but not in like an open weep. There's just a sort of a small downward inflection to its sort of facial features, and there is the red sap which has leaked as it does, but you feel a soft hand place itself on your shoulder as you take a moment to pray, and you hear a soft voice. Lady Braddock, it's so good to finally meet you.
And she would take that kind of nod, stand up, and turn as she does. Who is talking to her?
You see before you Lady Gisela Bolton. And you can tell she is Lady Bolton, as with the cloak she's wearing, they have those cross straps across the body that Northerners wear. In the middle of the cross is the flayed man sigil of House Bolton.
Yeah, that's such a tasteful symbol. Okay.
The most tasteful. But she is a young-ish woman. She's about 19, 20. She is fair-skinned, almost fair-haired, and she is dressed in a lot of furs, suggesting that she is perhaps not of the north. And is all bundled up because it's fucking cold and she's not used to this kind of temperature.
Ooh. Would I know who she was before she got married?
Okay, roll me a, let's think. What do we got? A education, I think. Knowledge education.
Well, I'm going to take advantage of one of those nice little blue dice that's sitting there and bump that up for a moment. It's an 8. I rolled crappy.
An 8.
Wait, why did it? It didn't roll right. It only rolled 3.
Didn't it? Okay. So if you, let's see what you got. Let's see.
You want me to just roll another d6?
Yeah,
because I bumped it up, but I didn't roll it. Yeah. A 10.
A 10. Okay. You would know that this is Lady Gisela of House Blackwood, who are a house in the Riverlands.
Okay.
One of the few down there that
And-
still have a weirwood.
Mm-hmm. Lady Bolton, it's so kind to finally meet you as well. I had a very pleasant conversation with your husband a moment ago.
Oh,
Yes, I was
I know
making
that's
my...
certainly not. That's not true. He's a very difficult man, very quiet man. Very nice of you to
Well,
say otherwise, though.
I would never say anything negative about your husband.
You would be one of the first.
Well, not until after we'd been properly introduced, at least. It would seem.
Of course. Of course.
Are you well,
How
Lady Bolton?
was
You
your-
look...
Oh, I am unaccustomed to the cold of the north. This would be my first winter here. They told me it would be cold. I didn't expect it would be quite this cold.
Yes. It is bracing. Definitely.
Mm. Yes, quite. Bracing is a word for it. Yes, if we're being polite.
Well, you know, I have heard great stories about the Winterfell hot springs, but I'm sure they will get much use. As they say, winter is
Oh.
coming.
Winter is coming, quietly. So my husband and Lord Stark say quite often. But how are you doing, Lady Braddock? I was sad to hear of your loss.
Thank you for your sentiments and condolences. It was a surprise for my dear good mother's passing, and then to be hurried over to Winterfell so quickly, it was a lot, but oh well.
My apologies, you misunderstand. And then she looks down at your belly, your other loss.
Yes, we were not quite so blessed the first time around, but changes happen, and the gods give in their time. And she kind of just gives that slight smile, like, I'm not going to say anything, but you can infer what you...
And she gives a smile in return, and I would like you to roll me a awareness notice check.
Cool.
And while Prax is doing that, we had 20 RTs, which means there is a boon for our cast at my discretion. So we will see.
That's a 10.
A 10. Okay, you notice it just for a moment as she adjusts her cloak. She rests a hand on her own stomach for just a second. The gods are very kind.
Yes. It will be, I'm sure that they are blessing us after that poor and, well, I heard that we lost many recently.
She sighs. Yes, a lot did die in that skirmish. Would you care to walk with me?
Certainly, of course.
Okay, and so she sort of takes you, softly by the arm, and you just begin to sort of walk around the grounds. Winterfell has its own sort of like enclosed, gardeny, woody zone, and it's quiet and peaceful as you're walking around. And she says, I'm certain that very soon there'll be another war.
A war or a skirmish, I hope. The gods can guide us to the ways to avoid as most damage and bloodshed as they can.
Oh, we're not going to receive any help from the south. They're too busy chasing after traitors in their mountains, fighting amongst themselves. And the Skagosi are relentless. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. It's going to be war.
Well, a war in winter. That does not seem like it shall go well.
Not for anyone.
No.
Lord Stark will no doubt ask our husbands join his war council. Give them his men.
Call the banners and ride to war, and we will remain. And try to keep everything running just as we always do.
Of course. It's very selfish of me, though. I wish that there's some way we could stop them.
And there's just like this moment on her face where she turns and looks at Lady Bolton and just kind of assesses her. The wish of women the world over. War is the process and mistakes of men. And yet we are the ones who pay for it the most.
I had a brother once, you know.
Oh.
He rode off one day with a host. He never came home.
I was once blessed with 2 brothers. 3, actually. Now I have 2.
Tell me, Lady Braddock, how fondly does House Braddock keep House Stark?
House Braddock is loyal to their liege lord and warden of the north, Lord Paramount, as any good banner house should be. We are loyal in as loyally as they are to us.
That's a very diplomatic answer, Lady Braddock, but says a lot. From what I hear of the history between the 2 houses, there is not a lot of love lost there.
But is there ever love, really, in houses? There's marriages and politics, occasionally friendship, more hatred and feuds. But true love between houses and dedication?
I suppose that's true enough.
How else would we play the game if we all loved each other?
I suppose so.
And she smiles at you with a very sort of knowing, like, oh, real recognizes real. Like, she knows she's with another player right now.
I am so glad that the gods brought us together today, Lady Braddock.
I am as well. It was such a shame that I was not able to meet you earlier.
Yes, well...
And she raises an eyebrow and purses her lips.
Yes, it was quite an astonishment. I was absolutely surprised at, well, honestly, Lord Stark's preparations and are quite, shall we say, there's a reason one should always have a lady as a chatelaine for the property rather than, you know, a bannerman.
You and I both know that, but the Lord Stark is without a wife. And he sees women as only one thing, and she sort of, like, rolls her eyes.
Yes. It is such a shame, though, that he did not avail himself of any wiser advice. I worry about, well, the women who are quartered outside the walls of the keep. Lady Joanna Carstock and her poor child, even.
Yes, a terrible shame that they would treat Carstocks in such a manner, no? Makes me wonder just precisely what Lord Brandon Stark is getting at here. One might
And-
assume they've committed a grave offense.
Well, perhaps you can confirm for me. I do live quite a distance, and rumors I would not wish to spread, and
Of course.
you know how tales grow or change in the telling. But I did hear that the mother of Lord Brandon's son is a Carstock?
Ah, his snow.
Yes.
Yes, well, I don't know the particulars in that particular scenario, but there's quite a level of shame there, considering that the Lord Stark does not have an illegitimate child.
It seems no desire to provide an heir for his house either.
No. And now you didn't, of course, hear this from me, but I heard the Lady Joanna was pushing for this particular snow to be recognized formally, in lieu of a real and true heir.
Well,
Clearly, the Lord Stark does not take well to this.
clearly not. But that further begs the question. Does he not in any way regard his relations? Are the Starks not cousins to the Carstarks? At least that is what we are taught in Highgarden.
Centuries back, in fact, they were very close family.
It's such a shame when family cannot continue to be bonded and strengthened, is it not?
A tragedy indeed. For all involved, including the realm. Who knows who might take advantage of such a situation?
I will be honest, that is unfortunately the situation that passed in the south. Father, brother fighting brother, turning the whole realm red.
Horrible business, horrible. I heard 10,000 men died at the Battle of the Red Grass Field. What a waste of life.
Yes. It is of course honourable to answer the call of one's liege lord and defend against pretenders, but merely for what could have been resolved as a family matter.
Of course, of course. And I cannot decry those that stood for what they believe in either. I mean, that's one of the tenets of the North, is it not?
At least they fought honourably and for their beliefs. I have not heard that they were craven or traitors to their proclaimed liege, as much as I did disagree with who that particular liege was.
Of course.
But when such family matters become the matters of the realm, it becomes a harm for us all, and we are distracted from bigger matters.
Bigger matters provide distractions from smaller matters. Though I do worry that such widespread unrest may spread.
Yes, it was. Well, I will give Lord Brandon the benefit of the doubt. His brother has just died, and could you confirm for me? It was such a shock. We heard about this skirmish, and the first we got was this letter about this funeral and summoning of the bannermen and vassals. When was this? We would not wish to.
A few weeks past. The Skagosi had pushed inland all the way to the last hearth. Lord Barthagen Stark called his nearby banners and formed a host to repel them, but what awaited was an ambush. Nearly 2:01, they were massacred.
An ambush? That seems... Well...
It's a terrifying
somebody
thing when someone does not fight on your terms. Lord Stark was used to lines of men in a field charging at one another. But when the enemy came from behind and in hiding, he wasn't prepared for it.
Charging like that and not being prepared for the battle. It is a concern. Well, that explains it all. I was merely surprised that we hadn't heard, anything beyond even, a mere notice from the maester when my good mother had passed. It was such a surprise, but obviously they were overwhelmed with us other such matters that they were, of course, makes total sense that the Starks would not send a representative to a funeral of one of their vassals.
Mm-hmm. A vassal is such
It was,
history.
however, I was quite thankful and very pleased to have your cousin attend the funeral. It was quite, it showed the... Wait, I want to rephrase that. It was such a soothing surprise, particularly after the Stark's lack of care.
My apologies that we could not attend ourselves. As you could tell, Lord Stark kept us here at his court.
Yes. It is such a shame. Well, hopefully, now that we are all here, and she kind of glances at any of the other women that are still in the Godswood, even if they're in the distance, we can hopefully begin to persuade Lord Stark that he might benefit from certain other points of view. Is it not true that, as far as I know, wolves mate for life, do they not? And a lady wolf will lead the ladies themselves?
Indeed. And she sort of extricates herself from your arm. Just, she doesn't jump away, but, gently sort of takes, and she says, there's an interesting thing about wolves, my lady. They say that the lone wolf dies, but a pack survives. Right now, Lord Stark is a lone wolf. And
Yes.
she smiles and says, I must take my leave. I apologize.
Oh, of course. I'm such a pleasure to meet you, and thank you again for your kind condolences. I wish you all the blessings of the gods upon you.
She smiles at you too. And then she makes her exit. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to do, Lyneth?
She's gonna, if Lady Manderley is still around, she's gonna try and make her way towards Lady Manderley.
Okay, by this point, news of the brawl inside the hall has reached everyone. And
in that case, things are gonna change.
You can see
If
up
she
ahead,
actually is-
a guard is talking to some of the assembled ladies, and there's a gasp, and they look amongst each other before they start to make their way into the hall.
She will move quicker towards the hall. concerned, but still pretending not to be.
Okay, so at this point, Brolin and Riona, you are currently sat outside. Brolin, you have been, whoa, Jesus, Billy, damn. You have been sort of looked at by a maester. He's kind of looked you over and determined that you're not gonna die, but you might look a little rough for a while. So Riona and Brolin, you are at the moment alone. You're being kind of looked over by a Stark guard, but there's no one interjecting on you right now.
Not how I wanted my first lordly outing to go. And he kind of laughs, and then blood spurts out his mouth. Oh.
I suppose any that you count with both of you falling down, draw at worst. How are you holding up?
Worst. I won. I was conscious. You lost. Let's not get into that. I don't want to get worked up again. I mean, was I wrong? Someone who's going to call my wife
I wasn't
a
aware of what
whore.
was... Oh, is that what that was about?
Pretty simple.
Lord.
At least where I come from is not uncommon for a fight. So, anyways.
Well, I suppose wouldn't do any good now to say that, yes, Lord Flint has been quite rude to not only Lyneth, but also me, so I guess I should say thank you for introducing his face to the ground.
He's a fucker, but not a bad fighter. How are you? Are you having a good time?
Well, I was having a good time.
Someone say something? I mean, I've still got
Not to
things
me.
left in the tank. I can keep going.
Amongst other things,
you.
I have good ears, and didn't necessarily like what I was hearing. Of course.
What were you
Starting
hearing?
to maybe think it's a mistake coming up here. As much as I was eager to get it out of the keep.
No. It's not a mistake. I wanted you here. This is what the world is like.
Wanting and being a benefit are different things.
Fair.
And having a sickly sister in combination with Southern wife and how we should say questionable. She'll start talking low so that this guard doesn't hear. I know what some of the rumors are.
Rumors.
I worked with Mother.
Excellent.
And she told me to keep secret, but it's always wondering if that was going to be in the winds here. And if so, that makes us come in on a back foot.
Well, if I can say what I know about the Starks is we've been on a back foot for centuries. We've been on a back foot since we showed them up. We've been on a back foot since Aegon the Conqueror rode up the coast. We're living on the back foot.
Yes, but whispers about our Lord and our expansion and our new port. While our relations with the Stark are not the best, we seem to be having better luck than they are.
And we're not rubbing it in their faces, are we?
No. No, but...
We're concerned with our growth. It's...
Yes. That.
We need to establish trade lines. We need to... For us, not for them. You know, they can dwell on the past all they want. I'm a different man. I'm trying to build a future for us without the negative... what's the point? If we've showed anything today, it's the fact that honor has a price, and House Braddock's willing to pay it.
As you say that, you hear a deep voice say, "Is that right?" And stepping out is Lord Brandon Stark.
Then he kind of gets up, winces, and makes kind of like a gesture, like if you a rib is broken, so if
Oh, yeah, Jesus
you'll
Christ.
forgive me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Jesus Christ because Jesus Christ doesn't exist in Westeros. But words to that
Bloody
effect.
trees.
Bloody trees. Don't fucking keel over in front of me.
But
you mind telling me what all
bow.
of that was about?
Where to begin? I came over, asked what they were all drinking, and then Arthur said, "Look, something, the southern whore brought her dog over." Of course, being a man of the north, I'm not going to stand idly by while some, pardon my language, shithead calls my wife a southern whore. And so I said something, or a cotton heated a moment, if you will. He approaches me, he asks me to say it again, and I say something, and he headbutts me, and that's where it begins.
All right. I can't blame a man for defending his wife's honor, though from what I gather, your wife's got quite a mouth on her. But hey,
I
that's
don't know what
Flint's
she
problem
said,
for
but
not having a thicker skin.
words are one
Anyway.
thing. When you bring it into the realm of the physical, you can start it, I'll end it.
Anyway, that almost had a very bad word then. That bastard Flint is he's had it coming for a while. It was good. No, you gave him a good fight. Tell me, Braddock.
He's not a bad fighter.
No, he's not. He's all right. Do you fight as well with a weapon in your hand as you do with your fists?
Anyone could say yeah, but I could show you.
Oh yeah.
I prefer an axe. They took mine at the front, but if I could have it back, or if you've got something blunted, I'm more than happy to show you. And we train my men all the same.
And he sort of looks at you, and he looks at how you're kind of standing there with your broken rib and your smashed up face. All right. Meet me in the training yard tomorrow morning.
You kind of, he nods for a little bit, kind of like assessing the danger, and then he kind of smiles. I think I like you.
And he like looks at you, is like, I think I like you too, Braddock. And then he sort of just leaves because he's a lord and he can do that. And he kind of brushes past you almost as you come through the door, Lyneth. And he's like, sorry, my lady. As he sort of does the dude putting a hand on your waist thing when they don't really need to. But and he makes his way into the room as you leave the hall to find your husband with his face smashed up and your good sister tending to him.
She just, as she walks by, Lord Stark smiles and gives him perfect curtsy and doesn't let anything show on his face. And just the minute he walks by, just rolls her eyes and then like beelines for Brolin. Are you? I said to let him hit you once, dear.
Yeah.
I said once, not multiple times.
Well, he did start it, and I ended it. So some folks of the book reading variety will say that vengeance never pans out well for anyone, but I feel damn good.
First, he pisses himself, and then he loses the fight. It's not a good night for him.
No, I don't think Lord Flint's going to have a good night for a while. And I hope you have a better one, darling.
Yeah, I'll just maybe make some noises as I roll over. I'm pretty sure this one rib's broken and he'll poke it. Ah, fuck, why'd I do that? Oh, fuck.
And she'll like kind of like take your hand away from your rib and it's like, have you seen the maester yet? Are you? And she kind of like put her hand up on the non-broken side of your face.
I didn't say anything was wrong because I didn't want to be in the same room with the Flint fuck. But I should probably see him.
Please, at least for my well-being.
Yeah.
Concern.
Where's his room? I suppose I should go.
Is the guard still there?
Yeah, there's a guard still there. Sorry, go ahead.
She's gonna try and make eye contact with the guard and like, do you know where the maester is? Can someone actually with medical training evaluate my husband, please?
And he nods and he says, you know, Lord Braddock, if you could follow me, I could take you to the maester. Because he's a guard, so he talks like that, apparently. And he will escort you to the maester.
I'm sure you two. I think Riona's just gonna look at. I think, well, I'm sure you'll take care of him. I think I've had enough excitement for one night. We'll retire to our tent.
And like on a dime, Lyneth will turn and pivot and look at Riona and then just automatically like put her hand up on Riona's forehead and so like just the back of her hand against her cheek, just like checking her. It's like,
I'm
right?
fine. I'm not.
Okay.
Maybe later.
Brolin will kind of before he goes.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking at Riona and at this addressed her concerns, having like a sudden like, what are you okay? You sure?
I'm fine. I just need to be alone.
And then Brolin will lean in. What you share with me, share with Lyneth. She might be able to make something else of that.
Yeah, but first, you need to see a maester. Make sure you're in condition to have that training session with Lord Stark.
What?
I was gonna get to that later, but you know now, so he wants to see how good I can fight.
He wants to see how good you can fight with, well, injured?
Well, in combat, you're never perfect. You'll always have something. That's not how fighting works. It's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
You're not helping this situation.
Lord
Please
Stark
let the
thinks he
maester-
likes me.
Okay, that's slightly helping the situation, but can you please let the Maester decide whether or not you're going to get hit again by Lord Stark in the morning? Please, for my sanity, concerns.
We're supposed to kneel to
well-being.
lords, not maesters.
Sometimes a Maester can be very... Just let him tell me that you will not get...
I'll let you know what the maester tells me, and then we can make a decision
I
about
know.
how happy I am when I go into training with Lord Stark tomorrow.
I'm also stubborn with maesters. Looking at you, prodding you, making sure you're not going to die, but please listen to them when they say whether or not you should or shouldn't do something. I see the way you walk. You did a number on you. I guess he looks tougher than he's tougher than he looks, I guess.
He's got some spit, but, you know, it's a two-way street. I can listen to the maester if you listen to the maester.
Agreed, then. I'll listen to them and you listen to them.
I'll always take you at your word, your family.
Well, hopefully it's not as bad as your little walk over there. So
I've been in fights before.
I'm sure.
I've got all this energy. I want to fight. I'm just going to go see him. So, and then he'll just awkwardly walk off to the guard.
You are shown where the Maester's study is by the guard, and as we open one Maester's door, we cut in an excellent scene transition to Nymor. What are you up to currently?
Nymor is never up to anything suspicious in any way. However, no, never. This makes no sense. However, there is a bit of a mystery that has been weighing heavily on my mind. And I am probably watching Brendan sort of train with the young Geralt. But I have some questions about this missive that I received from our good Raven Scarlet. And it is a question. I'm thinking I want to track down this person. I suspect this woman who has sent me this message. And the question is how best to do this. What I'm going to do is first do a little bit of rough calculations as I watch this training before me, thinking about the land, the area, knowing how far Scarlet can fly at one go, thinking about trying to basically, like the first thing is lessening down my search area to thinking, okay, well, if she's come this place, it cannot be this far. So like thinking about what are the places, sort of, perhaps places people might be a little bit questionable, perhaps, range. I'm thinking of range of places for the beginning of to search. This is my first thought. And then afterwards, I may, our young Braddock has to speak to the men of arms, and perhaps we go on a ride. Perhaps we take Scarlet with us and see which way she flies, if she goes back where she came from. But first, I'm thinking ranges. Like, what are the settlements or places where someone, perhaps a bit mysterious. Also, I had been researching in the archives about this symbol that I found, and I was wondering if I had found anything. I had been doing this last time. If I had found anything about this sigil.
Okay, so roll me. Let's have a look. I think this is going to be knowledge research. As you are digging
Indeed.
through, you've probably got like maps and charts where you're trying to figure out distances, and it's like a whole red string conspiracy board at this point. We've got Westerosi Pepe Sylvia written on the wall. Like,
where is this Carmen Sandiego? Where is she? Where in the world is this? Is she? I don't know. So I'm thinking about maps, and I'm also thinking about messages. I'm doing a bit of research in the deep archives of the Greenwall Keep. Well, making sure our Brenda does not get into too much trouble. 22.
oh, so
I'm
22
very good at research. I have a
is
study
what
that
we
they say
call in the biz a heroic result. This is heroic. So you, through your charts and things and information you've gathered, have determined that from where Scarlet typically flies, it is out of that range, usually where she usually goes. She's gone somewhere different. And you can tell, actually, you look her over, you inspect her a bit, and there's a different quality to
how long
her
she's been away,
feathers. Yeah, they seem a little bit more weathered, like they have been in harsher conditions. And looking as you put the feelers out through your research, you sent out ravens to perhaps maybe comrades at the Citadel or other mesas that they report back. They report back that this is, from what they know, the emblem of a pretty famous pirate. Her name is Talia. They don't know from where she hails from, but they know that she goes by the name of Rose, and that there is a story that she killed her first man at 10, and the blood spattered across her cheeks and gave her permanent rosy cheeks, and that from that point she was known as the Rose. And she is the scourge of anyone on the coast. It is said she appears out of nowhere, and she smashes and grabs in a flurry of blades. She is fast, she's furious. She takes without thought and kills without thought.
Any rumor about if she is attractive? Like, how good looking is there are rumors about her beauty? Is her beauty sung on the songs?
It's difficult to tell. There are reports of her looking like a hideous beast, or reports of her having this disfigurement across her cheeks, it is said. But other reports report that she is quite a beautiful young woman. Others report that she is not in fact a young woman at all, and that she is, an old hag. It's difficult to pin down, but mostly the consistent story is she is a young woman. She does have something on her face, and that her attractiveness is debatable. It is not solid, but yes.
Maybe when you stab someone, they don't think as kindly about your beauty. I don't know. It's not clear.
I mean, there's some people I would still say were hot if they stabbed me, but I am not your average Westerosi citizen. I have many deep-rooted problems that need therapy. Anyway, so
before I speak to our Brendan, I want to, because this is how I am going to go through all the records from Ok the Seer and see if there are any prophecies that may refer to a pirate woman. or a woman with roses on her cheeks or red cheeks, because always I must consult the seers. Always. This is very important. If there is anything, we must look for prophecies.
Okay, so you dig through the prophecies, and you don't find anything about a pirate woman. You don't find anything about beyond the Winter Rose prophecy that you are already familiar with that mentions rose. So you start looking for other terms, like blood, red, anything like that.
Sheep or
Yeah,
ghosts,
ships,
coming out.
waves, ghosts, thorns. You're trying to think of just anything. You come across one, and it's on a piece of parchment that is like on the verge of collapse. It is incredibly fragile, and a part like breaks off as you pick it up.
I must
And it
transcribe,
seems-
of course. Always transcribing to keep these safe for future. This is important.
It seems to be almost like a verse from a song. You can see there's writing on it that has faded and is illegible. But you see the words written, "One shall fall, one shall rise. As the snows turn red, the children cry." And there's a strange capitalization. Children is capitalized.
This is and I pick up like a small piece of like I imagine I have with me, because I'm studying, so I imagine I have like a lemon cake or some kind of scone, some sort of small thing that I had gotten from the bakery, because and something
Whatever, it
fairly
hooks
decadent.
you up with your snacks because she knows your blood sugar gets low because you don't look after yourself. So she's got like a little regular delivery going on.
True. And I go to find Brendan. Young
So,
brother. I will say as I come upon you.
You walk into a very peculiar sight. You see Brendan and his new squire Gerald, and Gerald doesn't have his armor yet, but there's like a bunch of clothes and other ragtag kind of things to make a big puffy suit. And next to Brendan, he's holding his bow, which is unstrung, and a bucket of rather small pebbles. And you notice that Gerald is holding his new training sword. Ah, Nymor, you're just in time for the training.
Oh, please carry on.
All right, Gerald. So
How are
before Nymor arrived, I was just telling Gerald how important it is to not be just strong, but to be quick, to be agile, to see what your opponent is doing. You see, Nymor, what my brother and a lot of fighters probably don't understand is a lot of people fight with their eyes, not just their hands, not just their axe. My eyes are going to tell Gerald where these rocks are going, and if he picks it up quick enough, the rocks won't hurt. And I also picture Gerald with like some sort of bucket helmet type deal.
He's got
like
he's in like a gambeson that's too big for him. It's rolled up at the sleeves and it's like rolled over with a belt, tucked around his waist. And he's got a helmet on, but it's not a really nice helmet. It's maybe one of the older helmets that is not currently used by the guards. And he's stood there waiting. "I'm ready, my lord."
Alrighty, let's begin. And Brendan picks up a rock and yosses it at him.
Ow!
You have to dodge, Gerald. Dodge.
I'm sorry, my lord. I didn't realize we'd started, even though you did say you were ready. Okay, I'm ready. All right.
Wait. You're
Wait.
ready now.
I'm ready now.
Gerald.
Are you sure you're... And he, as mid-sentence, he throws the rock at him to see if he picks up on it.
And he's like, "Are you sure yet?" And he goes, "Ah!" And he like throws himself into the snow.
Well,
Gerald, the goal here is to get to me and attack me. I'm going to throw the rocks. You're going to come at me and try and strike me with your training sword.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I can
Not
do
jump
that.
in the snow.
Well, I mean, it was coming from my head, my lord.
the side. It's I don't.
Okay, all right. I've got it this time. And he's like holding this training sword in two hands. And he's fixing you with a really intense look.
Muwan's let's get down to business cues in the background.
Yeah.
And he throws another rock.
Okay. And this time it clips him on the arm, but he still keeps coming, and he's coming, he raises it up at you, and he lets out a little battle cry as he like swings it down, but does not dare to make contact. So he just pulls short.
That was good. That was good. Okay.
I got you.
You did? Yes.
Kind of.
Now if I was armed, it'd be a little different, but sure, a great start.
If that was a bow, I'd probably be dead.
You
Joe,
definitely.
do you see that over there? Behind you.
What?
And he takes
He
his bow
turns to
and
look.
takes it underneath his feet and takes his feet out from under him. Never turn your back on your enemy, Gerald. Come on now.
But
Come
you're not my
on.
enemy, you're my lord.
Maybe you should have stuck to baking, Nymor. This might have been...
No.
Anyways.
He's just started. He needs a bit of time.
I can learn. And he starts having like a young person, like, I can do it, don't you fucking talk shit about me. As he's picking up the
You're
rocks
better
that you
fighting
threw at
time,
him.
I'm sure.
I mean, that's not argument based on he's like chuntering to himself as he's picking up the training stuff.
Mm.
I love it. Well, Nymor, I think Gerald might be a bit tuckered out for the day, or maybe we can resume training later. What would you like to do with the rest of our day?
I wanted to have a small walk around the grounds to finish our tour, if you do not mind.
By no means. Lead the way.
Young squire. And I bring Brendan away from the young squire. My lord, my young lord Braddock, we have a bit to discuss. I have been doing research and sending out ravens, and I have some information that is perhaps interesting to you. As you know, I have sent out word that I was looking for a Rose or a Rosamund, someone here in the colder climates, let's just say another winter rose. And I told you about this missive where I got something back from Scarlet, someone saying, I think you are looking for me, but beware of my thorns, this playful banter, perhaps. I have received word from some colleagues, some maesters in other places, and done a bit more research, and I do have more information for you. Would you like to know it?
Well, of course, Nymor. Does a bear defecate in the woods? Yes, I would love to know this thing about prophecy in my whole life. Why would I not want to know this, Nymor?
Well, bears do defecate in the woods. It's very interesting because the patterns of how bears defecate in the woods is that they don't just
Nymor.
defecate.
The letter.
Oh,
He's
yes,
like,
yes. No, yes. There is a pirate woman.
Pirate woman.
Yes, like a scourge of the sea, who emerges from the mists on the coast and murders men and takes their things and killed her first man at 10. Clearly very passionate. Blood spatter on her face gives her rosy cheeks, and so this woman, the pirate woman, Talia, they call her the Rose, and she is a pirate woman who thought that I was speaking about her and has sent me a message. That's interesting, don't you think? On a boat, I assume.
I think it's very interesting, Nymor. We should also probably alert the guards because someone someone knows where you are, Nymor.
Well,
And
well,
if
Scarlet
these
knows
rumors
where.
are true, I would be very concerned for your safety. So we should probably talk to the guards and make them aware of this.
It's wisely done, wisely done. There's one other thing. Well, two things. I think of two things. I think of one is just my thought, and the other is a snippet of a song I found deep in the archive of the Greenwall Keep. I found a small song. It said, "One shall fall, one shall rise. As the snows fall red, the children cry." But the children was capitalized, and also this the sort of rune that you would, the word you would use in Old Tongue is this, there's a slight difference in the pronunciation between children and children, which gives a different sort of meaning, and there was a bit of smudge, it was very faded, but I'm thinking from the way that it was spelled, this could be not... well, the children of the forest, you know, how deeply connected they are with the Braddock history. And I could not help but think of that moment the other day when there was blood coming from the wayward tree and the signs of crying from the tree, and it was indeed blood. So I do not know if this is this could be from this moment. It could be speaking, but seems portentous. But the other thing I was thinking of was, you know your history. We've spoken about it very much. Do you remember a few thousand years ago when before the destruction of Ragnar's Keep, when there was supposed to be the marriage between the Ironborn and the Braddock, this marriage that would unite these two seafaring peoples and bring about prosperity, and but the prophecy also spoke of the doom, and this was the time when Aegon the Conqueror came and destroyed the Braddock lands, destroyed our lands, and the Lord Stark conveniently did not tell us that the Targaryen conqueror was on his way, suspiciously only towards our area, far on the west of the coast. And immediately after the destruction of our lands, something that set back the Braddock family for quite some time, generations and generations. But immediately after this, our lands were destroyed, immediately the Stark bent the knee to this conqueror, and we were the only family who suffered greatly at this Targaryen incursion in the north. But that dragon attack disrupted a prophesied union between the sea wolf and the sea traveler, and the bodies of those two people are now made of glass, of statue there on that small island, and I cannot help but think of that in this moment.
Nymor, do you know where Orc the Seer originally saw the children of the forest?
Well, that is a very good question. There are stories about this where Orc the Seer, the great Orc the Seer, went to commune to see and have visions and to talk. We have not been there, but we could go. It would involve a bit of travel, not too much, not too far away.
I think it's a great adventure at the very least, and we could take Gerald here, and he can learn how to ride a horse and hold more than a training sword. And
you hear from just a little far away a really bitter little voice saying, "Know how to ride a horse."
Brendan, I feel I must tell you one thing before we go. I should clearly take men at arms with us, but you have one time been to this place before. We did not, well, close to the place, not exactly there, but in the close area. One time in the past you have been there. There is a river. It was 5 years ago. You were 12, and we were traveling across the countryside, meeting the people and learning their stories, and it was in the springs, and there was you remember the river where you drowned 5 years ago?
And he kind of like looks at Gerald because not many people, well, no one else knows that. And
Well, he makes sure
Yeah,
that Gerald is
I'm-
not hearing it. It's a quiet conversation because Gerald's right over there, and quiet conversation. Gerald does not need to hear it. It was the small bridge that gave way as you were crossing. You remember.
yeah, what of it?
The place where afterwards, after this drowning, you first got your green sight?
You think they're there? If they're anywhere?
No,
Yeah.
it is not where you fell, but the source of that river is where it is said that Okvisir would go for reflections. And we have not traveled to the mouth of that river, but that was it was there, it is said.
And how many days' ride is that, Nymor?
It's not far at all. But it is perhaps too late for tonight. And there must always be a Braddock in the Greenwall Keep, so you cannot travel outside without before your brother comes back. But you should know that there is a mouth of the river. There are stories of this place that maybe where you may go to seek more answers, but that should wait until they return.
Sure, Nymor. I won't go there till Brolin returns.
On your word?
I'm gonna
On your
roll
word.
a deception
Uh-huh.
on that one, and I'm for the first time in the campaign, I'm gonna use my pious feature. Extra dice,
Don't
baby.
forget,
Woo!
you also have
Didn't
two
even-
test die too. If you want to add those, you can add those. Just to extra triple mega double sell this lie.
Wow, just the lie of all lies. So let's see here. What do I got? Oh, my deception's so bad. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna use one. I'm gonna use my pious and one of these crit guys. So what? That's 4. Yeah. I have a 2. If I have a 2, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I got. That's so bad still. An 11.
11. What is your intrigue defense, Nymor?
My intrigue defense is 1,000,000. It is it is 11.
11. Okay. So in A Song of Ice and Fire, not only is alcohol a poison, that one's for you, Sam, but also if you meet the defense, you beat it. So you just managed to squeak this lie past him.
I look him in the eyes. All right, if you give me your word on your honor, I will believe you, because I know that you would not lie to me. I know, as before, sometimes you do not tell me things, and you sneak onto ships you should not be sneaking onto. But
That's funny, Nymor. Me not telling you things, but you didn't tell me about the brothels you were going to, or how my brother was a raiding murderer. It's funny.
This
that
is not true.
You're the
It's not
one
true.
that gets to keep all this. Mm-hmm.
This
I
is
give
not
you
true.
my word, Nymor.
I accept this. But, Brendan, this is not true. What do you say? I told you of rumors. I did not tell you specifics. I have been sworn to secrecy, and many times when I have been sworn to secrecy, I would tell you nonetheless. Perhaps not all of the details, but I've told you nonetheless. I told you about I told you that we were going to rescue your brother when I should not have. I told you... You must know, Brendan, that you are someone, you and Riona are people who I value very much. Not just as someone I tutor, but someone I care about. And I tell you all that I can. And I try not to be too outrageous. I would not say that your brother was a raider. I would say, as I said, that there were rumors that he was seen in those places and times. And I did my best to follow the orders of your lady mother, who swore me to many secrets. But there are many things I thought that you should know, and I did tell you that perhaps you would not be marrying Lady Lyneth because we were going to perhaps finding your brother. That betrothal was perhaps not something that you would have to follow through with. You are not someone that I lie to, and I want you to know this.
Roll for
This is
guilt
important.
trip, Nymor. I'm kidding. Okay. So,
But that was not to guilt him. That was to tell
No, I
him,
know.
like, really, no. Like, because I buy it.
Roll your attack on my heart, please, whenever.
No.
Thank you.
So, just know this, yes, that I am your maester, forever.
I know you are, Nymor. And he gives him a big hug.
Mm-hmm.
And Nymor gives him a hug back that is just like 4 seconds too intense. Like, there's clearly something going on, right? Like, it's a hug. It's like, oh, it's a hug. But it's like, there's clearly something emotional happening with him about something.
It's like that
And,
where he kind of like squeezes his hands and like grabs his little cloak a little bit, like just that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And
when he lets go,
ahead.
he's going to let go in a way where he's going to he's going to let go where he passes by Brendan so that Brendan cannot actually see his face when he lets go, and he's going to sort of walk past Brendan, and he's going to say, "I have a bit more research to do. I will be in the archives. Don't forget to eat, and make sure you see the Master of Arms and finish the tour." I will say as I sort of walk away from him with my back to him. And sort of like I go into my pocket and I hold the scrimshaw, and like there's just like a real sort of heavy sense of feeling there as he just sort of walks back into the archive so he can have a moment.
Okay. And we cut away from Maester Nymor and his emotional moment as he leaves the young Lord Braddock. But we cut back to Lyneth and Riona. This is the evening now. Basically, everybody has retired to their various accommodations. Brolin is being looked after for the evening by the Maester, who is just making sure that nothing is severely broken within his body and that his facial fracture is not going to cause an impairment or death. You're basically being monitored for the night by the Maester just to make sure that you're okay. Because broken noses in this zone is very bad, can be bad. But Lyneth and Riona, you're back at your camp. And it's not like a peasant crappy camp. It's still a pretty decent camp, but a camp nonetheless. You do have furs in there and things to keep you warm. But you two are left alone.
It's not camping, it's glamping.
Glamping.
Yeah. And I think, like, Lyneth is gonna wait and kind of, like, wait out Riona. Just kind of, like, keep up small talk, keep everything talking kind of calm, but she
Mhm.
kind of recognizes that Riona is upset, so she's just going to wait to let Riona tell her what is
Yeah,
upsetting
she's
her.
been, I think, through the small talk has been like kind of just like fiddling with one of her brushes, like kind of trying it over and over, kind of like just like having something to kind of like distract her a little bit. Well, how is my brother?
He'll be fine.
Hmm.
He's not well, but he has a hard head. He'll
Hmm.
be fine. But how are you, Riona?
Good, and then not so good. To be honest.
Good in the sense that the young Lord Roland was polite and candid and possibly affectionate.
She'll smile and just kind of give you a look like, yes, it was pleasant.
Pleasant.
But
We're going to leave it
yes,
at pleasant.
it was very nice.
Okay, we've moved from pleasant to nice.
All right, it was wonderful. It was great. Fine, fine. Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, we were wonderful. What's not wonderful?
Am I naive in thinking that talk wouldn't be here? I know, I know. I know what the rumors are. I know that's why the Flints broke it off. And I thought maybe that the rumors would stay back home.
I think Lyneth gets up and she'll like take the brush from your hand and kind of sit next to you and actually start brushing out your hair. And so who made a comment about rumors? Because
After what happened between Brolin and Lord Flint, I may have overheard Lord Bolton, Lord Manderley. A little bit of, I didn't catch much, but some ill talk about Brolin, and then some talk about the Braddock girl and how it was going. How could I be that stupid?
Riona, you're not stupid. You can have more than one thing if we are so lucky and blessed. At the end of the day, you're... Do you remember why I'm here? Not here in Winterfell, but here in the north at all.
Yes. It's to extend our family's prospects out of our little piece of the north.
Extend your family's prospects into payment for a trade. That doesn't
Yes.
mean that I don't love your brother. It doesn't mean your brother doesn't love me. It doesn't mean that you can't have more than one thing if you are very lucky and smart in your marriage. So Lord Manderley thinks he's playing a game. He thinks he can manipulate something. But the question is... Well, no, I'm not going to say this is a question. I'm just going to say this is a pure fact, Riona. Lord Roland cannot manipulate or lie to save his life. Have you seen that boy? Did you see the way he was at your mother's funeral? He couldn't even keep a straight face when I said anything.
Yes. Sometimes with him, you have to take the first step. Very skittish.
Men think they play the game. They claim to play the great Game of Thrones. But Riona, who plays the men?
And with that, I would like to end our session. That's the perfect ending line of an episode. Like, just, cut to credits. Do. Yes. Okay. Whoo! This was a juicy, juicy episode. Thank you all so much. And hell, Bill, props to you for that freaking makeup halfway through the episode. But I want to just quickly go around, say who we are, what we do on the internet, and I'm going to try and think of something to put in the YouTube comments. I always forget. But tell me one of your favorite bits of the episode. We will start with Trooper this time because Trooper has to dash off by the end of the episode, so we want to make sure we get his bed done. Trooper, hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm pretty dang good. How are you?
I'm really good too. There was, I don't know who did more damage today. I think it was Lyneth. Those burns were like 3rd degree. And I just feel like that was the most damage I think that we got. That was amazing. I'm Trooper SJP, and this was so great, so fun. I love how the story is just like, there's so much like, it's like a juicy peach, and hopefully no one will be killed by like a shadow demon baby, because the last time there was a peach in the Game of Thrones, there was like shadow demon babies, and that was terrible. So like, just hopefully it'll just be a good peach of juiciness. I thought this was amazing. I loved. I think I'm just gonna go and give Riona like my RP love for this one. That sort of like moment when like her face fell when she heard that thing. You're like, oh no, I was like, the whole thing was so beautiful. Like, I'm just like, Riona's my MVP for today. So good. And I'm, oh gosh, so good. You can see me later today over at Little Red Dots for the Secret of Cats Fate game. You can see me on Friday, 1 p.m. Love Laugh Lindy for Aether's Walkway Cypher System, 7 p.m. on my channel, Trooper SJP, for City of Light and Shadow, a Fate French Resistance campaign. And there's probably going to be a lot of murder next session. Let's hope it's not the PCs. And then over on Praxocrathus Mephoria's channel on Saturday night at 8 p.m., GM'd by our amazing Prax, will be the Regiment, where my character is stiff. Like, it's just not dead, but you know, like I'm quoting the song from Star Trek, you know, Stiff Man, when like the space hippies were singing about Kirk being uptight. Anyway, that's me. You can find me there if you like.
Thank you very much, Trooper. I actually fucking got that reference. Damn. Okay, so moving on down to Prax, who plays the wonderful Lyneth Braddock. With her cutting commentary today, Lord Stark did not know what was hitting him. It was what was it like? The Starks are famed for their hospitality. I was like,
I want to point it out that Susie never makes me roll for anything that's verbal intrigue at all. I just want to point that out.
I don't think that was an intrigue. I think that was a massacre. I feel like that's the difference. Like it wasn't intrigue. It was a massacre, and I just feel like that's just not the same. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
But don't you worry. We're gonna have an intrigue pretty dang soon. I was laying the groundwork.
Oh no, it'll be fabulous. You are fabulous, and I love everything that we do in this game, and I love all of you. But hey, y'all, you know me. I'm at Dearshadon on Twitter, or Praxagorathesmia4. You can see me around on Twitch. And I would just love, first of all, again, shout out to Billy for that quick change in the middle of takes to accommodate his new look. Also, I love everything that's going on at Greenwall Keep, and then everything that's going on here. And I love that, like, there's all of this, there's this level of, like, maneuvering that Nymor's trying to do, all based on prophecy, and Lyneth's like, nope, let's get real work done over here. And I'm wondering to see what will happen next. It's just things are happening, and then we'll see what happens. But also, it was a lot of fun. I love hanging out with all of you. You can find me over on Friday over on Wandering DM for some Cyberpunk Red. Yeah, things are entertaining there. On Saturday, like Trooper said, for some Regiment, as things are very entertaining there. And if you like this system, I hacked this system to turn it into a British Napoleonic Wars game. It's entertaining and fun. It'll be great. But other than that, check my Twitter post where I'm going to be, all the wonderful fun things I get to do, and all the fun people I get to hang out with, like these fine folks right here. All of them. Fabulous.
Speaking of fabulous, my good friend Bill, how are you doing, friend?
Hello, friends. I'm doing well. This was a really fun episode. I love the fighty, and I was told at the beginning, like, hey, there's probably not going to be a lot of fighting in this, and I'm like, bet. And here we are. And I just happen to keep my stage makeup right next to the computer, like a logical person should. So thanks for the shout outs there. And I'm also going to say, Shauna's subtlety is going to be the MVP. Like man, you put on a masterclass today, friend. Well done. In terms of other stuff that I'm doing, we'll see where this campaign goes. I mean, Brolin's about to be training with the Lord Stark in, I feel like we could make some waves. Or,
are you going to actually
maybe
murder him in the training session? I'm just asking. Will you just actually murder him?
Part 2. Like, oops. Well, here's the thing. If there must always be a Stark in Winterfell, like, there's others. So, well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see where the journey takes us, and we'll see if what the rules are, how he wants this training session to go. If you like the stuff that I do, very shortly here I'll be doing a Dark Sun 5th edition campaign on twitch.tv/LFM_network, which Charlie is on. I think you guys know who Charlie is, right? Frost and Fire? Pretty sure.
Heard of her, I think.
Yeah. That'll be coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern here shortly on LFM Network. And then pretty soon, coming back on Wednesdays, is going to be the Witcher Family of Rays on Laugh Love Lindy. We don't have a date yet, but we're working on it. And my character tricked Gaunter O'Dim into a deal. So we'll see how that pans out for him. Woo! Yeah, that's it. This was a hoot, y'all. I love y'all.
Thank you so much, Bill. I just want to say that Taya Jesus in chat, bold of you to assume I write anything and don't completely pull this whole thing on my ass. But someone who is a fantastic player and who is prepared at all times, Shauna, how's it going? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. God, I love everything that's happening here. I love the political intrigue. The fight was more drag out than I thought it was gonna be. Just like I just start seeing wounds. I'm like, oh wow, this is a fight. This is a good fight. And I, as part of like the drama gremlin, I am loving what's happening back at the keep. It's great. Just like prophecies and like. I love Johnny that you're just like trying to how Brendan is trying to grapple with this. It's like, and I'm very happy that you succeeded in your deception. That's so good. So happy.
Just right there.
Yeah, right at the edge. But yeah, I'm Shauna Flying Cirrus on Twitter and Instagram, pretty everywhere else. Have art and the games I play, so you'll see me on Embers in the Ashes, a Blades in the Dark game on Savric's channel, where I play an absolute monster that just tells people, you know what, good people don't survive long. You have to not be a good person. And we have to save his kids. So you know what? We'll see what happens. And then on Saturday, I'm on the Love Dice channel for Birth of New Gods, where each of our characters, before our fledgling godlings, met with their parents, and mine didn't go as happy as one would expect. Like, she's resentful and mad, and gave her mind to her godfather, literal godfather. And I have now a foxtail, so it's good.
Oh,
yeah, Kitsune.
Well, there you go. Hell yes. And nothing's been officially revealed yet, but Shauna, I hear that you and I might be in a game together real soon. But anyway, that's a little sneaky leak there that you anyway, moving on up. Johnny, hi Johnny.
Hello. We're doing our second. How are you today? I'm doing well before you ask. Before I do my thing, I just seriously want to shout out this cast. I take notes as people say you should do. And this cast just blows me away every time, more than they did the last session. To do it quickly in the Spark Transform Trooper, the way you bring lore to scenes and like to this world is like effing amazing, and it blows my mind every session that I'm like, where does this come from? And it's beautiful and I love it. Prax, your verbal sword play is like blowing my mind. Bill, you made such a metal character, and this whole time I'm like there should be something heavy always playing when Brolin's around, and like the way you described the makeup, and just regardless of the makeup, I was like, what? I was literally taking a pee, like, I wonder what Bill's doing, just like chilling, maybe playing with his cat, comes back, eyes messed up. And then Shauna, just with your sneakiness and like the rogue vibe I almost got from Riona, I think spoke true to like your heart as a player, and I thought it was really cool. And Susie, I'm always scared to have you as my DM in a beautiful, anxious, happy way. I'm Johnny Blams. You can find me on all your internet places as Johnny Blams. Starting soon, hopefully I'll be on a regular stream schedule. You can find me on my own channel doing some yeehaw, rootin' tootin' cowboy roleplay over at Wild West RP, where you can also find Susie. Tomorrow I will be live with a quote-unquote comeback stream. A certain hero is coming back, and he means business in Blackwater. So tune in tomorrow at 8 or 9 p.m., and maybe you'll see someone, a ridiculous character. Thanks.
Well. I don't think I can top that. I mean, damn, how am I gonna top that? The hero of Blackwater returns. Shit. Anyway, I'm Susie, otherwise known as Susanna Grace. I am a variety streamer. I do video games. I do art streams. I do tabletop RPGs. You can find me all over the internet at Susanna Grace. And you can find me again here on Encounter Roleplay on Wednesday for the 2-shot of Shinobigami, where I'll be playing Asuka Higashikata, who is a fucking kick-ass ninja. I have definitely ripped off JoJo. I've definitely ripped off Naruto. So get here on that at 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Otherwise, like Johnny says, you can find me on my channel, Rootin' Tootin' with a Outlaw in the Wild West on Wild RP. And beyond that, I am the media and marketing coordinator of Black Cats Gaming, and we have just released The Spy Game, which is a 5e powered game of international espionage and action. So that sounds like something you're interested in. Please do check it out. It's on Drive-Thru RPG right now. But that is it from us for tonight. Do remember to come back here at 8 p.m. for Song of the Deep, GM'd by the lovely Half-Assed Hermit and a fantastic crew, and you're gonna enjoy it. But that's it from us for tonight. We'll catch you later. Bye.